your pardon. I'm so sorry. Please excuse me.
Oh, I must say, what on earth?
Oh, dear.
Oh, really?
101 Dalmatians is a beloved classic filled with catchy tunes and light-hearted adventure. Yet, beneath the surface lies a narrative fraught with intense psychological conflict, themes of mass murder, and dark realities of consumer culture straight from the core of human cruelty. We are diving deep into the gothic horror hidden beneath the animation to uncover 10 dark secrets that will shock you. Let's begin. Dark psychological and ethical conflicts. 1. Cruella's clinical obsession and psychopathology. Cruella De Vil is not merely a conventional Disney villain driven by simple greed. She is a terrifying, unflinching case study in clinical obsession and severe psychopathology. Her entire existence is maniacally dictated by the singular, unshakable desire for a coat made from Dalmatian fur, overriding every moral, social, and legal boundary in her path without the slightest hesitation. Her impulsive, destructive behavior, her profound lack of empathy for living beings. She views the puppies, innocent and helpless creatures, as nothing more than raw material to be consumed for her extreme vanity and social standing. Her obsession is an illness, a blinding fixation that drives her to attempt the calculated, premeditated mass murder of nearly 100 innocent animals simply to satisfy a superficial, aesthetic fixation. The pursuit is a dark, tragic reflection of addiction, where the need for the object overrides all humanistic principles and leads to complete moral decay. 2. Calculated attempted mass murder of innocents. The dark, horrific heart of the film is Cruella's overarching plan, the systematic abduction and intended mass slaughter of 99 puppies to create a single, customized coat. The sheer, shocking volume of victims, nearly 100 innocent lives, elevates the film's horror to a profoundly disturbing degree, a concept rarely seen in animated history. The audience is forced to grapple with the chilling knowledge that Cruella's aesthetic vanity and superficial desire for fashion justify genocide on a shocking, localized scale. The puppies are essentially in a gruesome slaughter date. 3. Cruella's social isolation and internal chaos. Cruella De Vil lives in a state of self-imposed, dramatic social isolation, surrounded only by subordinates who fear her, not respect or love her. She lacks any genuine friends or loving relationships, despite her immense wealth. Her extreme appearance, her chaotic, violent driving, and her explosive, uncontrolled temper, manifestations of her severe internal chaos and emotional deregulation, screaming outward for attention. She is psychologically incapable of forming normal, healthy human connections, meaning her manic pursuit of the coat becomes the only thing that gives her empty life meaning and purpose, a symbol of how profound emotional detachment and unmanaged trauma lead directly to destructive acts against others. She attempts to fill her internal void with expensive, unethical external possessions. The film uses Cruella's isolation to show that genuine, calculated evil is often rooted in deep personal unhappiness. Biological realities and the dark laws of nature. 4. The dark reality of animal exploitation and complicity. The film directly and powerfully confronts the dark, uncomfortable reality of the animal fur trade and the exploitation of living creatures for human vanity. The puppies are explicitly treated as commodities, the terrifying stakes of the plot, the puppies' lives being measured against weight and cost of a single coat, force the audience to deeply question the ethics of materialism and the cost of human luxury. The underlying theme addresses consumer complicity in a dark, global economic chain where convenience and vanity are built upon the suffering of the voiceless, while the humans Cruella and her henchmen are driven by base, destructive urges. 5. Pongo and Purdy's profound parental trauma and sacrifice. Pongo and Purdy endure the ultimate, unimaginable parental nightmare, the abrupt, violent abduction and near loss of their entire family, all 99 children. Their relentless journey is driven not by simple adventure, but by desperate. Selfless parental love and immense, sustained emotional trauma that borders on post-traumatic stress. They risk their own lives repeatedly, exposing themselves to the harsh, unforgiving English winter, dangerous road traffic, and constant human threat. This emphasizes the dark reality that parental love requires immense physical and emotional sacrifice, and the necessity of facing potentially fatal consequences without hesitation. Their trauma is compounded by the terrifying knowledge that the human world views their children. Their reliance on the ancient twilight bark is a desperate, almost superstitious, high-stakes measure born of hopelessness against the modern machinery of human evil, represents the ultimate act of parental devotion in the face of insurmountable evil. 6. The hidden danger and risk of the great thunderbark. The twilight bark great thunderbark is romantically portrayed as an ancient, reliable method of animal communication, but its extensive use carries a dark, hidden danger that the dogs ignore due to sheer desperation. Pongo and Purdy are actively exposing their precise location and their entire rescue strategy to a vast, uncontrollable network of animals, inevitably increasing the statistical risk of detection, technically violating every principle of stealth and operational security known to any fugitive. It highlights the almost foolish lengths parents will go to when faced with the hopelessness of traditional, quiet methods of recovery, acting as a final, reckless cry for help against an existential threat. Is a massive plot vulnerability that emphasizes the blind desperation of the parent dogs when facing the loss of their children, the threat of civilization, and the ending. 7. Horace and Jasper, agents of mediocrity and mundane evil. Cruella's henchmen, Horace and Jasper, are not highly intelligent or sophisticated villains. They are pathetic, incompetent agents of cruelty driven by basic greed, fear of Cruella, and profound intellectual mediocrity. Their constant bickering, slovenly appearance, and sheer incompetence humanize the crime in a dark way. That true evil does not require genius, only moral weakness and opportunity. They are frightening precisely because they are easily coerced and driven to commit horrific acts, attempted mass murder, simply for money, demonstrating how easily moral lines can be crossed by the desperate and weak, forced into a heinous act because they lack the resolve or means to find legitimate employment. Their pathetic existence contrasts sharply with the elegant, calculated evil of Cruella, showing that corruption, moral decay extend across all class lines. Their bumbling ensures that the moral horror of the act is maintained, even if the execution is comic, reinforcing the idea that malice is often partnered with stupidity. 8. The bleak, desolate landscape of Winter Escape. The film's visual setting outside of London is characterized by a bleak, desolate, and unforgiving winter landscape. This environment is crucial to establishing the story's dark, high-stakes tone. The puppy's journey is not a pleasant road trip, but a relentless struggle for survival against nature's intrinsic cruelty. The deep snow, the freezing cold, and the isolation serve as constant, silent antagonists, nearly freezing the puppies to death and demanding extreme physical endurance from Pongo and Purdy. This severe setting heightens, making the puppies' eventual escape and survival feel truly miraculous and highlighting the immense, almost fatal physical hardship they endure in their flight. Death, despair, and oblivion, transforming the scenery into a menacing character itself. The cold is an equal threat to Cruella, constantly tightening the timeline of the pup, his eventual demise and adding pressure to the chase. The dogs face a dual threat. 9. The psychological impact of conformity. The puppy's final, necessary escape mechanism, covering themselves entirely in soot to look like common Labradors, is a powerful and slightly dark metaphor for conformity. They must literally erase their unique, defining spots their identity to survive, adopting a homogeneous, dull, and indistinct appearance. This profound act highlights the dark reality that sometimes, to survive a cruel and unforgiving world, one must sacrifice individuality, uniqueness for the sake of anonymity and safety. The film subtly suggests that survival requires blending into the crowd, losing the very traits that make one special, in order to avoid being targeted by the powerful forces of control. The spots are their identity and their currency. Erasure is a symbolic act of self-negation required for physical safety and anonymity. The irony is that they become indistinguishable and safe only when they look like the common stock, the opposite of the rare breed that Cruella desires to possess. This forced conformity is a final tragedy of the narrative, underscoring the high psychological cost of escaping tyranny and the necessity of losing oneself to find safety. 10. The dark power of aesthetics and materialism. The entire conflict of 101 Dalmatians is fundamentally rooted in the dark, destructive power of aesthetics and unchecked materialism. Cruella's pure malice is born solely from her desire for a look, a coat made of spots. The puppies are targeted, hunted, and nearly murdered not because of anything they did, but purely because of their unique, patterned appearance. This makes the film a chilling and prescient commentary on the superficiality of consumer culture, where rare and beautiful objects are deemed more valuable than life itself, creating a clear ethical void. The plot exposes the moral bankruptcy created when material desires override basic human empathy and compassion for the living. Cruella is the personification of form over function and aesthetic tyranny pushed to its most psychotic extreme. The film argues that the relentless pursuit of external beauty and status symbols can transform a human being into a monster, devoid of all moral substance. The resolution celebrates the simple value of life, family, and simple love over the cruel, murderous pursuit of status and fashion. The true triumph of the film is the defeat of a destructive ideology rooted in aesthetic obsession. Conclusion. So, these were 10 dark secrets of 101 Dalmatians. The film's true genius lies in its unflinching look at addiction, obsession, attempted mass murder, and the dark reality of animal exploitation. This animated classic is a sophisticated study of good versus genuine, calculated evil, all wrapped in a deceptively colorful package. Which dark truth about Cruella's cold-blooded motives shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. Please like and subscribe for more deep dive cinematic secrets. Thank you for watching, and look closely at the true price of those spots.